Hello all, this is Michael Cook with Illinois WorkNet. Good afternoon, and we're going to be getting started. I see some people are still coming in. And we have Emily Martin from Illinois WorkNet as well here in Springfield. She's going to be in the chat pod saying hello to everyone. And I see we still have some people coming in with the answering our polling questions, so that's great. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the chat pod, the question and answer pod up, so you can write in anytime you wish. And today we're just going to be discussing the relaunch of the CIWA course, Certified Illinois WorkNet Advisor online course. And we've been working really hard to get it ready for you guys. Today's agenda, we're going to go over the update overview, and then I'll give you a brief demonstration of the actual course. We still have some technical issues that we're working on, so it's not ready to be taken yet by the public at large, but I can still show you. And then we'll have question and answers. If you guys have any questions for me, we'll try to get you the answers. And I just want to make sure that everybody can see okay with the PowerPoint going on. And you can always click full screen to make it big enough for you. Great. Person who's knowledgeable about the WorkNet portal can use it in their daily activities, whether you assist individuals or businesses, and also just have the ability to demonstrate the use of technology. And I'm sure all of you guys can. So we'll look at the updates that we actually made, comparing them to the old course and the new course for some of you who have been with us for a while and have taken the older course. You remember that it took the lockstep approach, meaning that you had to go step by step from each unit. And the current course, the new course that we've updated, uses a modular approach. So that means that instead of having to go through and remember where you were, you can see clearly that you have modules, and each module is self-contained. And you can take them in any order, or you can go through at the recommended order. Another issue was the fact that each workforce professional received the same set of units or the same course. And with our new course, you have a set foundation modules, which everyone will take, but then we also have recommended additional modules that we will be releasing as well. So based on your role, or if you work with businesses, then you can take some of the business modules or content management modules, and we'll have specific modules for again, you can see in the old course we had standard units that had 3 or more lessons. Currently, the new course will have a standard module components, and I'll be showing that to you as well. And that way each module is pretty much, it has the same elements. In the old course, you had lesson quizzes that were required, and then also unit quizzes that were graded. In this new course, we simplified it to have just a simple 10-question quiz at the end of the module. So each module has a quiz. Previously, we had a recertification course, which took 2 hours. And we've simplified that again to be a recertification quiz, which is basically 20 questions. And you will have access to the modules throughout the year so that you can, if you need to go back and review them, you can. Or you can just take the quiz. If you pass, that's great. If not, then, like I said, you have the modules to review. In the old course, it primarily focused on the individual's pathway. And what we've done now in the new course is to take we call it the holistic approach. We look at the entire portal from the individual's pathway, business pathway, and the workforce professionals pathway. And I'll be showing you one of the tools that we use to accomplish that. One of the other things that's pretty big is before the old course required your coordinators and staff to pre-register individuals or workforce professionals for the course. And what we have now is we're going to put in place where workforce professionals can self-register for the CIWA modules and the additional modules, which will be a great saver of time. And the last change is really before our information was stored on a separate product, the Angel product, and was a course management. And now everything's going to be stored on our Illinois workNet server. So instead of having to log into another system, everything will be right there in Illinois workNet, which helps with integration because then you can go back and forth and check out the resources right there when you're in the course without switching into, a whole nother browser. Now we'll look at some of the benefits and mention these. Again, we have the holistic approach. The time to complete the foundation modules has been reduced. Previously, the course could take up to 5 hours. And with the new course, we're looking at about 3.5 hours. And that's including looking through the, reviewing the videos and the related resources that we've added. And then another issue that we have is if things change, and on Illinois workNet, things change a lot, but what we can do then is just create any module. So if something changes and we need to get it out and get you guys trained on it, then we can just create a module for that instead of having to go into the course and change everything around. And that's the beauty of having the individual modules because it gives us a lot of flexibility in getting the trainings out. And so we'll look at the process for getting into the CIWA course, and it's basically the same process. We just simplified it a bit, and I've mentioned some of the ways, but you can see we have the 4 steps here. Step 1, you would set up an account and get automatically registered for the CIWA course. In step 2, you access the course through your Workforce Professionals Pathway dashboard. And we'll take a look at that during the demonstration. Step 3 is simple enough, complete the CIWA. So you go ahead and go through the course, pass all the quizzes with 80%. Quiz. And as before, you will get an email 1 year after your completion date giving you access to the recertification quiz. And so we'll go into some of the details of each of these steps. And you can see in step 1, we have the actual setting up of the account. And most of you, or I believe all of you probably do have accounts already. But if you have staff, new additional staff that are coming in, then they would set up their account. We see that coming in, and we would then, on our side, go through, give that person a user role, and just in that giving the user role, that person would be set up to get the pre-registration for the CIWA. And then also they would have the recommended additional modules. So if they are working with businesses, as I said, then we would recommend taking the business service modules. And you can see the different modules. We set these modules up as different series. So you have the 100 series, which is the foundation modules, and there's 7 of them. And those are the required modules to get your certification. But then we also have the 200 series, which is the business services modules, as well as the 300 series, which is content management. And as I said before, we can just keep adding and adding. And I put down there, you know, we have a developing case management series as well. So possibilities are just endless. And step 2 is, you know, actually accessing the course. We're going through a process of updating the workforce professionals pathway. I'm sure you guys have seen the individuals pathway and the businesses pathway that have been updated. And like I said, we're going to do the same thing with the workforce professionals pathway. Currently, you can see the CIWA. It's in a link on the left-hand navigation of your workforce professionals pathway. But you won't be able to get to the course because you're not registered yet. So we'll look at what each module contains. Each module has a learning objective, a little information about the module, and then you can see that each has exercises or activities. We put together scenario-based examples, so you will be able to follow in the footsteps of 4 individuals that we put together, and they have varied skill levels, and one's a business. And like I mentioned, we also have related resources which you can get to, and it's right embedded in the course, so you have the links right there to go and see the resources that are being discussed in the module. And pretty much each lesson of the module has related resources or a quick tip. We have videos directly on the course, and we still use the screenshot technology, which is so you can see what the pages look like. And also, since it's right on our website, you can just go there. And then each module is roughly about 25 to 30 minutes to take. And I was real happy when we did the pilot session that the people who took the course, they did come in with roughly 25 minutes to 30 for each module. The end of module quiz is 10 questions, and it's similar to the previous course. You just go through the questions, and if you get 80%, you've passed. You have unlimited attempts to take the quizzes. And in step 3, we have the workforce professional just completing the CIWA modules. Again, it's the same. You have 90 days from registration to go ahead and finish the course. And as I mentioned before, you have the additional modules that you can self-register for. And those will be coming online in succession. You still receive the continuing education unit for completing the CIWA course. And as you can see, the CIWA foundation modules, the 7 modules, once you complete that, you get the 1 CEU. If you complete the business series, again, you get 1 CEU, and so on, all the way through the recertification process. And speaking of recertification, that's the step 4. So 1 year after you complete the CIWA foundation modules, as I said, you get an email just as before that says, it's been a year, it's time for you to recertify. So you go ahead and do that. As I mentioned, it's a 20-question quiz, and you can go ahead and take that quiz and pass with at least an 80% again, and you'll get your 1 CEU credit, and you'll be certified for the year. One feature that we're adding just to kind of reinforce this recertification process is if a workforce professional doesn't complete their recertification, then we'll have a nice box pop up when they try to log in, and it'll just remind them, and they'll have to go there first before they can get to what they need to do. And here I just put together a few images of what the course looks like. And you can see that's one of the characters on the left-hand side. His name is Neil. And you'll get to learn more about Neil when you get to the course. And then the second image, just to the right of Neil, is one of the learning activities. And you can see how we have the text box where you can save information as you're doing the activities. And then the last is just an image of the quiz. And you can see how it looks just all right there in your workforce professionals pathway. And you can go to the various resources that are there, and you can click along the left navigation or use the related resources that we've added. And this is just a listing of the 7 foundation modules. And then I have the optional or additional foundation modules, which after you take the 7 required modules, then you'll be able to go ahead and sign up for these if you would like to learn more about, as I said, the key sectors pathway, disability resources pathway, the laid off worker page, and the various Illinois WorkNet communications tools that we have. And that's to be Twitter or our RSS feeds. And then we have the other series, and I just gave a sample of what some of those will look like. You have the business services series with some of the modules that will be coming online, and the content management. And now I'll go ahead and set up for just give you a brief demonstration. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen, and I'm going to check back to make sure everybody can see. And I see we had a question. We're going to get to the questions right after I get through with the demonstration. Okay, so here is and so we have, as usual, a little information, so we always try to put some information out there and some guidance. And then if you click on Foundation Modules under the 100 series, you get to the course. And you can see it looks similar to the My Activities that we have. And we're just trying to tie everything together. And you can see we have the pre-survey that you start off with, and once you originally get here, you won't be able to access any of the modules without taking the pre-survey. And so you can see the green check. I took my pre-survey and started a few modules as well. So you can click on a module, and then you come to the module homepage, and we have feature rotator that kind of gives information of what this module means to the various categories. You have individuals who, this is what you can learn about for individuals, what you can learn about for businesses and workforce professionals. And then, as I mentioned, we have the about this module, which just gives you some information. And then you have the learning objective. To the right here, you have more module information, the length of this module, the status. I've completed it, and it gives you the date. If not, it'll say in process. In the future, we're going to have the ratings tool attached, so you can rate the module. Links to the FAQs that we have, and feedback. So if you have any questions, you can just click here. It'll take you to the Contact Us. And here you can see you can click on Start, and that'll take you directly to the module quiz. So in order to get started, you just go ahead and pick a lesson. And you can see, as I said before, it's just integrated right here on your Workforce Professionals pathway, so you have access to all of this, all the resources. And this page is really the introduction to the 4 characters that I mentioned. Neil, who has entry-level skills. Then we have Maria, who's a dislocated worker, and she has industry-wide technical skills. Janice is a management skills. She's an IT professional. Page where you can click there and go back to the home page, or click to go to the next lesson. And I'm just going to click around a bit. This is an example of the screenshots and then more information. And here's one of the scenarios, and you can see Neil. And like I said, you'll learn more about Neil, but he's a recent dropout who needs training. And so what these scenarios really do is to just reinforce how you can use the resources. And as you go through, it mentions, what Neil realized that he could do and how Neil's workforce professional, assisted him. And then you can go to the related resources, which, as I mentioned before, they really reinforce what was learned within the scenario. And we also have links to the glossary. And so each scenario has a learning activity. And so through your learning activity, you again get to take what you learned from the scenario and put it in your own perspective. A lot of times we'll ask, how would you do this? And so you can click through the resources and find out. You can type in your answers and save them. And here's an example of one of the quick tips. And here's Maria and her scenario. And, it just states what she's looking for. She needs job placement services because she's going to get laid off. And let's see, I'm going to go back now to the webinar, see if there's any questions. Okay, let me see. The first question, will the certificate we receive also include the professional development hours? Not all employees look at CEU hours. No, you would just get the one CEU hour after completing the various series. And then the next question was, do we have to take all 3 modules to take the content management series? You just have to take the 7 foundation modules. So you won't have access to any of the other courses until you complete the foundation course. And if anybody else had any additional questions, or if you would like to see something else specific regarding the course, you can go ahead and type that in. I see some people who are in attendance today were part of the advisory group, so we used a lot of the ideas that came out of that group, and some ideas actually like changed the way that I was thinking about the course. So I want to thank you guys. Okay, for Judy Arroyo, so once the foundation course is taken, then we can take the management course. Yes, and that course is, the content management course is also being developed right now. So yes, once you go through the foundation modules, then yes, you will have access to self-register for any of the other courses. The one thing is you only get the CEU credit if you complete all of the modules within a series. You can just go through and take certain modules if you want, but as I mentioned, you only get the credit if you complete the entire series. And for Juanita Rivera, you can begin by setting up your Workforce Professionals account if you haven't. And then once we get the few technical issues that we're working on with the course right now, we want to send out a mass email to everyone letting you know it's being released, and that give you some guidance on how to go through and get to it. We're also going to send out a mass pre-registration. So and you can always reach out to the info@illinoisworknet.com if you have any questions. And for Mike Happenstall, when will this go live? We're still working on a few issues just to get the technical issues all taken care of so it runs very smooth. And I'm looking to do more testing next week. And as I mentioned, we're going to send out a giant email blast to every one of you, just letting you know it's here. Let's see, for Joshua Moody, if I took the course last year, does the refresh just update my CEU from last year? As long as you're current, then if you're current with your certification, then you would just get the recertification quiz when your year is over. To the Two Rivers Regional Council. Yeah, we are doing some integration with IWDS with the customer groups, and we want to tie the course in with that as well, just with some of the registrations, because once you have something in IWDS, it automatically will create you a workNet account, which then will go through and get you set up for the pre-registration. And then Karen. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure what the Illinois workforce is. To Judy, yes, in order to get recertified, I guess the question would be, are you currently certified now? And if you are, then you would just have to take the recertification quiz. If your certification is lapsed, then yes, you will have to go through the modules and take the 7 required modules, and then you'll be certified. And to Karen, I can go ahead and check to see if you have a Workforce Professionals account, or if you know you have a Workforce Professionals account. But yes, you should. If you did receive this email, then I do believe you do have a Workforce Professionals account. Asking a question about the work groups being set up automatically. That's something I'd have to look into and speak more closely with the people who were developing the work groups and such, for the customer groups, I mean. And then we can get back with you. And for Judy, you can get in contact with your LWIA coordinator to find out if your certification is still active. Or you can send a request in to info@illinoisworknet.com, and we can have one of our staff check your user account. And to Cassandra, it says, is this something that would be useful to job developers? And I would think so. Really, for anyone who works in the workforce development career field, to be able to assist the customers in job search, or posting jobs through content managers. And that's one thing that once you go through the course, you'll see more clearly, like, how each scenario plays out, and you'll see how Neil, what his needs are, and how the web portal and workforce professionals can assist him. To Juanita, as I said before, we're just trying to work through a few technical issues that we're, hopefully by next week, I'll be able to get through and test a lot of the things with the entire process with from registration to completing all the quizzes to everything. And then once it's running smoothly and we'll also send, we have the account messaging system, which will send a message directly to your workNet account. So when you guys log in, you'll see a green box at the top of your screen that says you have messages. You can go ahead and check in there, and it'll be the message as well, just letting everyone know. There's some good questions coming through. And if you have any more, just go ahead and type them in. Now's the time. And I see Juanita is typing, so I'm just going to wait for the question to come through. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but everyone can go ahead and click on the file share just below the chat pod to download the PowerPoint that I went through today. And if we don't have any more questions, then we can go ahead and conclude this session. And again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and send them in to info@illinoisworknet.com. Emily put it in the chat pod for us, and we'll get you answers. We're going to have a session again tomorrow, and that one's at 10 a.m. So if you want to come back, or if you feel you missed something, then you're more than welcome to sign in for it tomorrow. Thanks everyone for coming out, and talk to you all soon.